Hi, Norman Notenates here again. This is what we do when we've not got any mates. Listen, today I'm going to be changing the spark plugs on a 2005 Mitsubishi Magna. Now this is a bit of a hassle, but I've got the new iridium spark plugs. They're seemingly better than the platinums. Obviously I've got 6 of those to put in, and I've got a gasket set. So don't think about doing this on this type of car without a gasket set. Now I'll turn the camera around and I'll just show you what I'm going to do in the engine bay. So there's the engine bay. As you can see, there is no plugs there. I've got to take this whole thing off. Plus I've got to disconnect this here. There's 4 bolts here. Those 4, 2 and then 2. Probably disconnect all these. Take off some tubes. This has got to come off. This has got to come off. But just disconnect. Not necessarily, but the plugs are there. There's a plug. There's one there. So there are all a bank of them. It's a bit of a pain. It actually stipulates that you probably should put 3 of the expensive plugs in. The ones that can travel 100,000 kilometers, and then 3 of the normal ones. So anyway, I'm going to get on and do that, and I'm sure it's going to take me a while to do that. So like I say, just look at it and see if you've got everything first. We've got loads of spark plugs. I've tried this one. This is a 13 16th. Now I've got loads of the other one, but they're all 3/8 drive. God, I don't know why I've got so many sockets. Got another one in there, in my other socket set, and I think I've got another one in here somewhere, but that doesn't fit in there. So I must have about 8 or 9 socket sets. So I might need some spanners and whatnots, but I'm going to go on and get on and do that, and we'll see how it goes. But that's the new. Now I know this is June 2017, but these were about $25 each, or just under $24.30 or something. The gasket set, that's the gasket set for this one. Pretty standard gasket set with all the gaskets in there. There's no point in pulling it apart if you can't replace it, because it's obviously it's an air intake. It's for air intake manifold. So let's get on and make a start. Slight delay yesterday. This is the next morning. Slight delay because I was given the wrong size plugs. These are the plugs I've got now. Well, these are platinum. I had the iridium ones the last time, but what happened was the socket didn't fit. The plug didn't fit my socket, because it's got to be about a 5/8 or 16mm. So all we do is we screw them out like that. We'll pop the new one in and screw it down into the hole. Make sure it's tight, not overly tight, but you've got to crush the washer. There's a washer on the end there, and you've got to crush that washer. So we'll get all these 6. I've done that one. Do this one and this one. These are the ones that are they can be replaced, but these are the ones that's hidden. So we'll do all them. Make sure you don't overly tighten these off, to take them out of the clips. Okay, let's get that done, and then we'll get the rocker cover back. Okay, just an update, see where we're at. So disconnected all these. There, and I've taken that off there. Just put the bolt back in, and then I've got a nut there, and then I had a number of nuts at the back. This one here where the gasket fell out, right at the back there, and then the throttle body thing, plus there was a thing. So the air intake, I've actually disconnected the whole of the air intake. I've taken out the air filter. So now I'm going to wait to take these 4 bolts off here. 1, 2, 3, 4. See that 1, 2, 3 and 4. So I've just taken the whole lot out. Now what I've done here is, only because I forget, I've marked these to tell us where to go. I've marked these 3 here, 1, 2 and 3, what will correspond with A, E and P. But I'm not sure if I'm going to have to take this off, because once I bolt this, all this thing should, because that's the throttle body itself. Now there's a new throttle body gasket, because there's a gasket that runs in here, just in there, if you can see me, right in between there. So I'm going to give this all a clean. Like I say, I've disconnected this whole bit here, that whole bit there, just disconnected that. I've got the filter here, which was a bit of a mess, so I'm going to have to give that a, I don't have another one unfortunately, so I'll go give that a good vacuum out. So that's where we're at the moment. I'll disconnect that, take it off, and we'll get the plugs in. So we've got the plugs in. Now we've got to put on the air intake manifold. I think they called it a rocker cover previously, so now you've got to fiddle about with the gaskets, get the right sort of gasket, so the gasket will just sit over there. And then there's another gasket for there, around here. Okay, but the one that came off was pretty good, but I'm going to put on 2 of these. I'm going to put one like that, which was the metal one underneath, and I'm just going to put this paper one on top just to crush it all together. So let's get this bolted in, because it came with an array of gaskets, but obviously it's for a Mitsubishi inlet manifold set, so it will not just do my car. Okay, let's get this on. Well, there's the air intake manifold off. Obviously it's upside down, but I've broke the gasket, which is alright. Obviously that's it upside down. There's a gasket on its side, but I'll turn it over here. Right, but I'll put that down there, because there was a few different bolts at the back. There's one here, one there, and one there, and then obviously that's the 2. This was all connected. I had to take a hose off there, so it was a bit pernickety. So I just I've marked it all in a pink pen, and that's how it looks. See there's the 3 there. I'll try and give it a clean. There's the gasket that I've broken, which I kind of expected to do. In fact, I've got to find a washer that came off there, because I've turned it upside down. So I'll scrape all this and get it. So, and there's the other 3 there. There's another 3 there, which is like I say, these are the hard ones. You got to take everything off to get these 100,000 kilometre spark plugs in. So you know what, for an extra $10 each or something, I'm going to replace them with 100,000. At least then you know they're all the same ones, but by jigs, it's a bit pernickety in the back, and obviously I've got all my stuff, screws and bolts. But socket wise, I only used 3 sockets. I think it was an 11, a 10, it could be 11 and a 13, or a 12, and then I used one of my small quarters, it's 1/4-inch drives, just to use it as a screwdriver, because I was scuffing up against on it. By James, that was relatively easy, and obviously I don't have an O-ring puller, which I'll really have to kind of get, but that's that. Okay, I'm going to wait to put the kettle on, have a coffee, and I'll come back when we do these. Alright, and then we'll put it all together again. So that's everything back together. All I did was I went round and I tightened up the bolts. So what I would suggest is marry up the bolts at the back here. the ones that's down the back there, there's 3 of them. Marry them up first before you tighten these ones down, because I couldn't get it to sit properly. I tightened these down and I slackened them off to get them set. So just make sure all your little connections are back. Let's say I disconnected all of this unit. Make sure your plugs are in, and I mark all of the hoses with bits of blue and 1Vs and 1, 2, 3, 4s, and just so that I can't, you know, put them back on in the wrong place. I marked this is my accelerator cable, accelerator bracket for the cable, and I marked that, so I made sure I put it back in the same place, so that I wasn't pulling the cable too tight, or the cable was too slack. But everything went in there fine. Let's say, make sure your cables are in. I vacuumed all of this out, give it a good clean. Make sure you clean all your surfaces before you put your gaskets in. I put 2 gaskets here. I kept the original one in between the throttle body and the inlet. So I put one of those cardboard type, plus there was the metal one there, which looked absolutely fine. So I just cleaned it all off and put it all in. But that was, once I got organised, like I say, I had a bit of an issue because I was given the wrong plugs, and they wouldn't fit in the hole. They wouldn't fit down. I couldn't get my socket in the hole, but there was a 16mm socket. Like I say, I put the 3 expensive ones in here. 100,000 kilometres one. This car's done 2005. It's done about 154,000 kilometres. Let's say cleaned out the filter. I probably should have changed it, but it's quite easy to change. Tools used. So all there really was a 10, a 12, and a 13, and obviously because of the where I was working, I used a screwdriver type in some of my 3/8 ones, and that's all I really used. A ratchet, 3/8 ratchet with a step down, an 80 teeth, 40 teeth half-inch ratchet to take it off, a breaker bar for my plugs, screwdrivers, pliers. Magnet's a good idea, just in case you've let things fall down the back of the engine, which I did a couple of times. Gasket set. Only use some of the gaskets out of there, so I might advertise that and see if somebody wants to come and pick it up for nothing, and so that they can use it. And like I say, that was just the sockets that I used. Very, very easy. And that's it there. So I'll go and give it a start and give it a run, see how it goes. I'm sure it's much better. There we are. Bye for now.